Confidence, leadership. Two common reasons families put their children in cheer are gaining confidence and learning leadership skills. For those of you with super confident, charismatic kids, cheer seem like the obvious choice. We need to get this kid into cheerleading. But for others, parents are trying to get their child confident through osmosis. If we put her in with other confident kids, maybe some of their confidence will rub off on her. But in the middle of trying to build their confidence, they are put on a youth 2 team, not a youth 2 team. Nothing wrong with youth 2. I'm not sure why I chose youth 2 in this situation. Actually, I guess I do know why, but there's nothing inherently wrong with the youth 2 team. There are 12-year-olds. They are 12 years old and have a tuck, right? So this kid is 12 years old and they have a tuck. You for sure thought they were going to make the junior level 3. What happened to building their confidence? You as a parent are reading this or listening to this and thinking, I don't see how not making the J3 is better for their confidence, right? You're like thinking, dude, I want my kid to be a more confident kid. They have a tuck. They're 12 years old. They're a shoo-in on J3, but they end up making youth 2. And you're like, I don't understand how that is going to make them a more confident kid, right? So once upon a time, I coached a senior 3 whose practice started directly after the youth 3. That particular year, we had several crossovers between the 2 teams. And I would watch these 11 and 12-year-olds go from quite literally the very front of practice to quite literally the very back of practice. They would go from being confident vocal kids to kids who didn't speak a word at practice. This is very, very true. I would watch these kids be at the front, vocal leaders, right? In the front, leading stretches, right? Like the kids that gave the pep talks, who did everything. And I'd watch these same exact kids start practice on senior 3 and go straight to the back. They would stretch in the back and they wouldn't say a word. And it was a crazy dynamic I would watch with that, right? And so, I get into it more here, but I specifically remember seeing that. And it taught me a lot about athletes and age groupings and skill level and who really is, how kids really develop confidence, even if their confidence is different from what's best for their confidence is different from what they want. There's an author I like, Malcolm Gladwell, who did a speech about choosing colleges and the factors families should consider when making that choice. He mentioned students who get into Harvard shouldn't necessarily attend. Instead, it might be better for them to attend their local university. He used the University of Tennessee as an example. But why? He mentioned that when these students go from always being top of their class, all of a sudden to middle of the pack or lower, their confidence is shocked and they simply can't perform at the level they are accustomed to. However, when these same students go to a University of Tennessee, they remain at the top of their class and are super confident and go on to more successful careers. As much as you want your athlete to level up, when athletes don't fully own the skills required at a higher level, it becomes really hard for them to feel happy. However, when athletes are placed at a level where they own the skills for their level, they tend to be significantly happier throughout the duration of the season, even if a lower placement at the beginning of the season caused some momentary disappointment. You can actually see this in crossovers. Athletes who cross over typically have an easy team and a challenging team. I get it. They might like the challenge and or the status that their higher level or older team provides, but more times than not, they have more fun and gain more confidence on their lower level team. So at tryouts, if your athlete doesn't make the age group or level they are hoping for, remember that being placed on a lower level or a younger age group might actually be the best thing for their confidence as the season progresses. I know it's hard for them at the very beginning of the season, though. While it's natural to want to see your athlete reach higher levels or older age groups, the team they're placed on can greatly impact their confidence. Sometimes the lower level or a younger age grouping provides the right environment for them to thrive and build confidence throughout the season. Based on my experience, athletes seem to be the most confident and happiest in their role on the team when they're an older member on the team and when they can confidently execute all the skills required for the team. When athletes don't make the higher level team or older team, this is their opportunity to become leaders and lead from the front. Athletes cannot become leaders if they've only followed their whole life.